It's Saturday night, April 7th, and everybody's sleeping, so I don't want to make too much noise. So first, we went to the book barn in Niantic, Connecticut today, and picked up a few books. So the first book, paperbacks are $1 each. Desert Rampage by William Hobson. And William Hobson wrote a book, The Last Apaches, which I thought was very good. So this is another book that he did with Apaches. There's other westerns that he wrote, but I only have those two. Ernest Haycock's The Earthbreakers. I have another copy of this, but not with this cover. I'm not sure the condition of the other book, so for $1 I bought it. Ernest Haycock is a pretty good writer of westerns. C.J. Cherryh, Fortress in the Eye of Time. Again, this was $1. It's in excellent brand new shape. And I like C.J. Cherryh. I mean, I have some complaints about it's not perfect, but she is very good, and I do like her books. So, and this one I don't have. So, good find. Then I picked up 2 Tarzans. This I have, but I only have one, so now I have a backup. And this is number 9, Tarzan and the Golden Lion. And same for this one, Tarzan number 21, The Magnificent. The other one I have, I think, has a black cover, and that's the one I'd like to save. So this will be my reading copy. And then this book, for $1, I had to get it because it's so rare to find. It's got such a great cover. I already have it, Casino Royale. I have it with this cover. Casino Royale by Ian Fleming, the first James Bond novel. And it's such a cool cover. So I do believe that's Robert McGinnis artwork. Pretty sure. And then this James Bond book is the only one I didn't have that I'm aware of that I don't have. Octopussy, and it has 3 short stories in it. The Last Great Adventures of James Bond 007 by Ian Fleming. And there's 3 stories. Then I picked up W.P. Kinsella, The Miss Habima Pageant. This book I have, but they're very hard to find. I don't really see a lot of his books around. And it was in excellent shape. It was $4. So I did get that. And this book I have in paperback. And it's just kind of thought it would be cool to have, The Winter War. I think this was $5, which was overpriced. I noticed that their prices are going up a little bit on some items. I don't know why. This is by William Worcester Haynes. It takes place in 1876. It's fictional. It's, I believe, partially based on General Miles' winter campaign against the Sioux after the Battle of the Little Bighorn. And, I figured that, it's got a dust jacket, picture on the back. If it's a good book, even though it's fictional, if it's a good novel, it'll be cool to have. And if not, so I'm not going to miss the $5. I'll come back $5. I miss you. Okay, The Friendly Jane Austen by Natalie Tyler. This looked interesting. It's different, those pictures, all these little sidebars and stuff about Jane Austen and her books and different information. It just looked interesting. I think it was $4. Same with this book. It was 4. I think it was 4. If not, it was 5, but I think it was 4. Guilty Parties, A Mystery Lover's Companion, by Ian Ousby. And it was pretty much in excellent shape. Cool cover. By the way, a lot of times when I show the books, if the cover is separating, if it's, the front from the backing is separating, I glue it. I have Elmer's glue, extra strong Bond variety, and I'll fix the corners. Have like model knives, and I'll get the glue in there and hold it down with a tissue and fix the books so that they look good. Then, so that was everything that I got at the book barn. My son got a few books, but then he wanted to go to, because he had a gift card, he wanted to go to Barnes & Noble on the way home. So we stopped there. He wanted to get pop figures. He's really into quite a bit of them already. So soon the house is going to be all books and pop figures. So we went into Barnes & Noble, and he got some pop figures and a nice Doctor Who book, which I don't have here to show, but it's a nice book, a big hardcover book all about Doctor Who and lots of artwork and stuff. But I picked up 2 books surprisingly, because I don't really like to pay their prices, but these were like discounted still. It was the 2 books came to $20. I had a discount. I got 20% off. But so I bought Voices from D-Day, Eyewitness Accounts from the Battle for Normandy, 70th Anniversary Edition, edited by John E. Lewis. And so I got that. I have quite a few books on D-Day. And then this is from 2 years ago. No, excuse me, 3 years ago now. I believe this is 2015. Woody Allen. This is a big, heavy book. It was $15. Woody Allen, a retrospective by Tom Schoen. And I don't want to achieve immortality through my work. I want to achieve it through not dying. I know Woody Allen has a little bit of a shady past. No one really knows what happened. The movies are really good, and I like to watch them. And this is like an interesting book. It goes up to, like I said, I think by 2015. So that's all for today. I'll just say one personal thing. So my son has food allergies, and he has a condition, having too many white blood cells in his esophagus. So he went for a test on Thursday. It's called an endoscopy. They put a scope down your throat, take pictures, and take some biopsies, and they're going to test for white blood cells in his esophagus. If he has a normal amount, within the normal range, then he can keep his diet, what he eats, the way it is, which is great, because he has food allergies already, so he's already limited in some things he could eat. So we're really hoping that when we get the results, probably on Tuesday, that everything is good with the white blood cell count. This way he can continue as we've been doing. Otherwise, we're going to have to find out what's causing the white blood cells to be in his esophagus, and then we have to change the diet and cut things out. And he loves like cheese. That's a dairy product, and he might not be able to eat that for a limited amount of time until we determine if that's the problem, or forever. I mean, I don't know. So I'm really feel terrible about it. I just wish he was okay. And you have kids, you want them to be healthy and wealthy, right, and wise. So I feel terrible that he has these issues. So anyway, that's it. Hopefully I'll find some good books at Strand this week, and most important, get good news about my son's endoscopy test. So till next time, bye. Hello, it is Sunday, April 15th, and time for another video update. So this week at Strand, for $1, I picked up Chief Buffalo Child Longlance, The Glorious Imposter. I mostly bought it because it has some nice pictures of Blackfoot Indians in here. The guy who this book is based on was an imposter, so he did lie a lot. The book must contain some interesting stories about his experiences. Whether or not those stories are legit, I do not know. The book has mixed reviews. It was only $1, so I figured it really couldn't hurt much to get it. And it was also inscribed by the author to somebody. It was only $1. It's kind of cool having it with the inscription with his signature. Okay, The Reader. I picked up. This is by Bernhard Schlink. Saw the movie. It was very, very good, and for $1, it's in great shape. Picked that up. Then at Barnes & Noble, I think it was last week, I picked up a Woody Allen book by Tom Schoen called A Retrospective. It's $15. And what do I see for the first time ever outside at Strand for $2? So I just had to get it. I was so annoyed after spending $15. It was like brand new. And I never would have bought the $15 one had I had that one, but I just figured I'd get it. It's a nice book. $2, I'll get it. I have no way to put it, but I'll get it. This last week on April 5th, my son had an endoscopy because he has a condition called eosinophilic esophagitis. White blood cells in his esophagus, food allergies, and the test came back without great results. Even though he's not showing any real symptoms, he still is being affected by food somehow in his esophagus, too many white blood cells. So now we're on an elimination diet, another endoscopy scheduled for the end of June, trying to get in to see a real specialist on what we call EE or EOE, and which is eosinophilic esophagitis. The doctor he has now, he can do the endoscopy, but he's not really an expert on the field of eosinophilic esophagitis. So we're learning all kinds of things lately, just me researching on the internet, getting on message boards, simple things like even like if you're allergic to dairy, there's pills that are coated with milk or milk based products. So they learn about all these things that could be causing problems that you don't know about. So it's a slow process, unfortunately, and between tests you have to like cut out a food or add a food, wait a few months, 2-3 months. So, and plus we got to find an expert to meet with besides the doctor we're currently seeing. Everything takes time. This is a long-term project. So we're in it. We're finding new recipes for my son to eat. I'm trying to follow the diet myself as close as I can. Solidarity and support, and it's not going bad yet. We're finding things to eat and new recipes, and I'm helping out a lot. Made sorbet a couple of times, sweet potato fries special with like some nice seasoning on them and some other stuff. So I just made gingerbread cake. So we're getting along, and that's it. Till next video. Bye. It's Friday, April 20th, and by the end of next week, the month's pretty much over. I'll be down to 14 months to retirement. So this week was a pretty slow week with books. On Wednesday, I found 3 books outside Strand. That was it all week. So let me review what those are. The Indian Frontier of the American West by Robert C. Utley. And this covers the years 1846 to 1890. It's hardcover, dust jacket. It's in like pretty excellent shape. It was $2. I already have it, but it was $2. So, The Log of a Cowboy, $1. Again, really nice shape. And by Andy Adams, A Narrative of the Old Trail Days. Old Bison book from Nebraska Press. I might have it in this version. I know I have the book. I'm not sure if I have it in this, but it was only $1, and I couldn't just let it sit there. And then this book here, Brad Solomon wrote. It's called Jake and Katie. Now I have 2 other books by Brad. I think it's 2 other books by Brad Solomon. They're like detective novels. And when I saw this sitting there for 52 cents with tax, meaning including tax, they sell their paperbacks for 48 cents. Usually I just say it's 50 cents, rounded off. But anyway, when I saw it sitting there, I was surprised. I didn't know he remembered this book as one of his books. And so for 50 cents, I figured I'm just going to get it. It was in pretty good shape. So that was it for the books this week. As far as eating goes, because now that's kind of like a new thing, because my son has all these food allergies and he's on a current diet that cuts out a lot of food groups, hopefully not permanently. But I've been making sorbet, lots of different stuff. Last night we had veggie tacos. We're finding lots of things to eat, nice desserts, nice meals. There's plenty of things to eat. It's just if you're buying, pre-made food from stores, it has a lot of ingredients you can't eat. But sometimes you get lucky, you find something that's, made right. But a lot of times it's not, or it's made in a factory that processes nuts and you can't eat it and all this stuff. But it's not been bad. Certainly it would be nice to be able to eat more things, but we're doing well. and we'll keep finding new recipes, new things, and so making the best out of it that we can. And that's till the end of June when he gets his next endoscopy. Hopefully gets a good result and without the white blood cells, and then we can move on from there. If not, we got to find out what the problem or problems are that are causing the white blood cells, and we're going to go see a specialist for that. So that's it. Till next time, till next week, bye. It's Saturday night, April 28th, and time for another book update. So what did I get this week? Well, for my wife, I picked up Outside Strand for $2. The Time book, Abraham Lincoln, His Life and Times, and Illustrated History. And this is like in brand new condition. She collects Abraham Lincoln books, so I thought she would like that. And she did. Then I picked up, give me 1 second here. Okay, this was outside also, $2, like pretty much brand new, Jane Austen, Writer in the World, edited by Catherine Sutherland. Cool book. The only thing was it was a little bit dented over here, but for $2, no big deal. And it was a $50 original price, so that was a really good deal if you ask me. And then I picked up inside the store for about $30 plus tax. This is a pretty cool book. I already have it, but it's very rare, and when I saw it again, I just had to have it. It's called American Pictographic Images, and what it is, the subtitle is Historical Works on Paper by the Plains Indians. And this book is from 1988, and it's got an introduction and captions written by Karen Daniels Peterson. And what it is pictographic art by one or more Arapaho warriors in the 1860s. The 1860s, somewhere in that era, 1860s, 1870s. Let's see, let's find a good one here. 1 second. Here we go. Here's a nice picture. So this is a really cool book. I'm very happy to have another copy of it. Then we went today to 2 bookstores, both attached to libraries upstate New York, and we picked up some nice things. So for my wife, I found this book here, John Wilkes Booth, A Sister's Memoir by Asia Booth Clark, edited by Terry Alford. And it's excellent condition, and I think this cost a quarter or 50. I think it was a quarter. Yeah, it was on sale, a quarter. Pretty good, right? Then for her brother, I spotted this book. It was $4. It was not on sale, but it was a good price. The Art of Star Trek. This is the original Star Trek. Let's see. There's lots of cool stuff in here. I should have got it for myself, but her brother likes Star Trek a lot, and I like it, but I'm not going to look at it that much, and he would enjoy it, I hope. Then I picked up, before I get to the books I picked up, I'll just show this. We went into a comic store, because my son had to get some, wanted to look inside, and he wound up getting a pop figure, which he collects, and I got my first pop figure, and this is Lemmy Kilmister he passed away, but of course famous for being in Motorhead. So that was pretty cool. My wife got this for me actually as a gift. Okay, so what books did I get today? Well, first of all, I bought, let me count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 books today, and it cost me, the price is a little bit skewed, and I'll explain why. The reason is 3 of the books were not on sale. They were $4 each, like the Star Trek book. So that was $12 for 3 books. Altogether, I spent about $18 on the books. So the other ones only cost me, I say 18, so 12, so about $6 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, what was it, 7 or 8 books. It's late. I had a long day. So $12 for 3 books, and 6 books were about $6, so average about $1 a book. Okay, so what did I get? Science fiction book, Clifford D. Simak. It's just short stories. There's 6 short stories. All the Traps of Earth. This was a quarter. And Earthbreakers by 50 cents. Earthbreakers by Ernest Haycox, 50 cents. And this book I have, but I figured I'd get another copy. It was great condition and cheap. This was a quarter. A Lady's Life in the Rocky Mountains. It's like brand new. I do have it, but it was such a good price, and for a quarter it was hard to say no. The Last Crossing by Guy Vanderhaeghe. Oh, this book here is by Isabella L. Bird. I didn't mention that. And she went west in the 1800s, and some, her memoirs, reminiscences. The Last Crossing by Guy Vanderhaeghe again. This was 50 cents or $1, I don't remember now. And I already have this book in hardcover, and the reason why I bought this is because in the back there's questions for discussion. I thought it was kind of interesting. I don't think that's in the hardcover. I'm pretty sure it's just in here, but I could be wrong. But I thought, I'd read this and see what I think about the questions. Maybe one day I'll be in a reading group, and that would be cool. Talk about the book. This is an Edgar Allan Poe book, and it's called Selected Tales, Edgar Allan Poe, and it's got an introduction and appreciation by Richard Fisher. And it's kind of like a cool hardcover book. It has the bookmark sewed in, and in the back there's an appreciation with pictures and biography of Poe, and a handful of stories. So it's kind of cool, nice looking book. That was $4. Then this was only 50 cents. Look at this book, Marlon Brando, hardcover, excellent condition. This is a biography by Peter Manso, and it's quite a thick book. It's in great shape. 50 cents. Then Brando again, Songs My Mother Taught Me, written with Robert Lindsay, and this was 50 cents. I've seen Brando books around. I never get them because, the price. So if you hold out long enough, you tend to get lucky. Then this book I have, but it was 50 cents, and it was in such great new shape. Robert M. Utley, The Lance and the Shield, The Life and Times of Sitting Bull. In this book, I think this is one of the $4 books. The Films of Jack Lemmon. I put the broad art sleeve on it. I have a few more I have to put sleeves on. So it's I'll show you. This text about the movies that he was in, and some pictures. It goes over a bunch of movies. This goes through 1977. Then the last book, it was $4. This is Encyclopedia of the American West. Robert Utley is a general editor, and this is also like new, and it's $4. Had this been a sale on like all of the books, this would have been maybe $1 or $2. So I think that was pretty good deal today for all of that. And again, the price is skewed a little bit because of the $4 books. Under normal conditions, those might be $1 or $2. So, but I wanted them. That's it for this video. I still have to do an end of month. What books did I read and what movies did I watch this month? Oh, everybody's so excited. And then it's down to 14 months come May 1st. So, till next update, bye. It's Monday night, April 30th, and this will be the last video closing out the month of April 2018. Tomorrow, officially, it will be 14 months to retirement at the end of June 2019. So, I've been making videos throughout the month, what books I purchased during the month, and this one I forgot to show. So, first order of business is Fremont Explorer for a Restless Nation. This is $2 outside Strand. It's in great shape with the dust jacket intact. by Farrell Egan. Fremont was, of course, a well-known explorer during the 1800s of the American West. Okay, so as I like to do at the end of the month, I will tell what books I read this month and what movies I watched. So the books that I read, I finished up Lewis and Clark Journals, edited by John Bakeless. I was reading that for a long time, like well over a year. I was trying to follow along. Every time there was a journal entry, I tried to read it on the day. Like, it was a journal entry on June 5th. I tried to read it on June 5th. But it was supposed to finish in September, after the summer. But I just wanted to get it done, and I was getting tired of doing that. I kind of wore myself out with that, having to always worry what day it was that I was following along, because I do other stuff, And so I finished it up. And I gave that book 3 stars, 3 out of 5. As journals go, it's not, that complete, but, you get a good idea of the expedition. Okay, then, Anthropological Papers of the American Museum of Natural History, which, from Volume 1, Part 4, Ethnology of the Gros Ventre. That's really all I had to say, was the Ethnology of the Gros Ventre. 1908 paper written by A.L. Kroeber. I think his name was Alfred. I gave that 3 stars. Now, I didn't read the whole thing. I read the parts that interested me. There's a lot in there that's about, like, moccasin designs and comparing different tribes with designs on their clothing or teepees and whatnot. It was just beadwork and things I really didn't need to, like, really read and remember or have much interest in unless I'm, like, researching it for some reason. So I read the warfare parts and some social customs and religious parts, and that was very interesting. And I would give those parts like 5 stars, but because I really didn't read all of it, I'm giving it 3 stars. Because a lot of it again is just like minutia about different patterns and designs that the Gros Ventre used as compared to other tribes. Not the most thrilling reading. Then I read a book of short stories by Fred Grove called Red River Stage. I gave that 3.5 stars. And Heroic Fantasy, something I've never read before. That was edited, meaning I never read the book before, but never read that kind of genre. Maybe some C.J. Cherry stuff is fantasy. Although I think what I've read from her so far has been more like sci-fi. So anyway, the book is called Heroic Fantasy, edited by Gerald Page and Hank Reinhardt, and had some really good stories in it. I give that 3.75 stars. I'm not sure that I would consider everything in that book heroic or heroic fantasy. Some of them were just fantasy stories, but I'm not really sure about the heroic part. But there were some good stories. If some of the stories didn't always end to me that great, they still had some good parts. It was fun to read, interesting. So that's it for the month of April with books. What movies did I watch? I have a list here of 33. So I'm going to go through them from beginning to end in sequence that I watched starting on April 1st. So I watched My Sister Eileen, and these will be rated out of 5 stars, 5 being great, and just like Amazon, 1 being not so good. My Sister Eileen, starring Rosalind Russell, Brian Aherne, and Janet Blair. I gave 3.5 stars. Appaloosa, that was a Western with Ed Harris and Viggo Mortensen and Renee Zellweger, and Jeremy Irons, I gave 4.5 stars. I thought that was a very good movie. Mostly Ed Harris carried that largely. Just he had the right. It was almost like Lonesome Dove. Can't think of his name right now. Duvall, Robert Duvall had that same intensity of character. Celeste and Jess Forever. Andy Samberg, Rashida Jones, and Elijah Wood. I gave 4.5 stars. City of Fear, that's a film noir movie with Vince Edwards, who was in a good movie called Murder by Contract. And also in this movie was Patricia Blair and John Archer. I didn't like this movie as much as Murder by Contract, which was pretty good and had a very good... I remember the music in that movie. I can't remember the melody of the theme, but it was catchy and it was good. It was like a part of the movie. The movie wouldn't be the same without it. So I gave City of Fear 2 stars. I didn't really think it was so wonderful. Waiting with Ryan Reynolds and Justin Long and Anna Faris. I thought that was a good movie. It makes you not want to eat out what they do to the food in this restaurant. It's called Waiting because they wait the wait staff, waiters and waitresses in like a Applebee's type of restaurant or a TGIF, and they mess with your food. 4 stars. 2 Weeks Notice with Hugh Grant and Sandra Bullock. I gave that 3.75 stars. Wedding Crashers, Vince Vaughn, Owen Wilson, Rachel McAdams, Jane Seymour, and Christopher Walken. I gave that 3.5 stars. Veronica Mars, starring Kristen Bell and Jason Dohring. I gave 3 stars. I wasn't really familiar with that whole Veronica Mars universe. The movie was okay, in the middle of the road. Whatever Works with Larry David, Evan Rachel Wood, and directed by Woody Allen. I gave that 5 stars. I enjoyed that movie. Transcendence with Johnny Depp, Rebecca Hall, and Morgan Freeman. I was expecting this movie to be pretty good. I gave it 1 star. Just didn't care for it at all. I don't even see why Johnny Depp even took the part. There wasn't much of a part. Then I watched a movie called Accepted with Justin Long, Blake Lively, Jonah Hill, and Louis Black. Pretty good cast. You'd think the movie would be good, but I gave it 1 star. Kind of harsh, but I think it was a good movie. Let's see. Then I watched a movie called Blow with Johnny Depp and Penelope Cruz. That's Johnny Depp plays a drug dealer. I gave that 4 stars. Up in the Air, George Clooney, Vera Farmiga, and Anna Kendrick and Jason Bateman. It's pretty good, 3.5 stars. What Happens in Vegas with Ashton Kutcher, Cameron Diaz, and Rob Corddry. I gave that 2.5 stars. I'll tell you a quick little story about that movie. Roughly 10 to 12 years ago, this movie is from around like 2006, more or less. It's now 2018, so about a dozen years ago. Where I work, they were filming the movie. I didn't know what it was, and Cameron Diaz was like standing in the street. I walked like right by her. There were like no security. It was like very weird, and right near where I work, they're always filming movies around over there, and I didn't know what it was. And when I was watching this movie, there's a scene where Ashton Kutcher and Cameron Diaz are walking towards each other in front of this building, and I know exactly where the building is because it's right at the corner where I work. They're always filming there because it's like a scenic spot. And so it's kind of funny. It took a long time, like over a decade, but now I know what movie I walked by, what film set when I was heading back to work from lunch. So that's kind of interesting. I saw the movie, I'm like, wait, that's the day I walked by it. Then what else? Let's see. Begin Again. Keira Knightley, Mark Ruffalo, and Adam Levine. I gave 3.75 stars. Then I watched a movie called Picnic with William Holden and Kim Novak. I gave that 3 stars. Maybe it deserves more. I don't know. I gave it 3. Then I watched a movie called One Night, and I can't remember about it. It wasn't listed on Amazon, so I couldn't write a review of it on Amazon and rate it, and I just don't remember what it was, really. Gattaca with Ethan Hawke, I gave 3 stars. I thought the ending was kind of weird. He just goes into space in his regular suit clothes. I didn't get that. I thought that the movie wasn't a bad idea. It was a good movie, but there were plot holes, and I thought it could have been a little bit better. 500 Days of Summer with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Zooey Deschanel, 4 stars. Miss Congeniality, Sandra Bullock, Michael Caine, and William Shatner. I was expecting more from that movie. I gave that 2.5 stars. If I Stay with Chloe Grace and Jamie Blackley, 4 stars. 50-50, Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Seth Rogen. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was going to be a comedy, and well, Seth Rogen supplies some comedic parts, but it's not really a comedy. Joseph Gordon-Levitt plays a guy dying of cancer. So I gave that 5 stars. 10 Things I Hate About You with Heath Ledger, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and Julia Stiles. I gave that 3.5 stars. That was like a high school movie from 1999. Mysterious Skin, again, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Kind of was on a roll with him this month. I still have other stuff to watch with him. I gave that 5 stars. He's very good. That was a crazy movie, Mysterious Skin. I gave it 5 stars, but it's not something I'd rush to see again. It was kind of drains you watching it. Crimson Peak, Mia Wasikowska and Jessica Chastain, directed by how do you say his name? Guillermo del Toro from The Shape of Water. I gave that 3.75 stars. I think that movie was better than The Shape of Water, which I don't think was a good movie. I don't know why it won awards. I don't know why anything. I just looking back, I don't remember what I rated it when I watched it, but it just wasn't really that good. Cake, Jennifer Aniston, 3.5 stars. I felt that I'm giving like some of the movies I just name and rate, and some of them I say a few words. One day, hopefully, after retirement, maybe I'll give full reviews. I don't know. But Cake with Jennifer Aniston, she's a good actress in this movie, so she shows that she can act. That was also a movie where she's sick. I think she had cancer too. Like with Mysterious Skin, with not Mysterious Skin, with 50-50, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. So I just felt that the movie, it was good, but I just wanted something more. Something was missing from it. I don't really know why. 3.5 stars. Sex After Kids. This was no big names in the movie. It was a Canadian movie. Gave it 4 stars. It made me laugh. I thought it was funny. Maybe there was a scene or two that I didn't think was too realistic, but other than that, Sex After Kids was a good movie. Zack and Mary Make a Porno with Seth Rogen and Elizabeth Banks. I was really expecting to laugh during this and think it would be really great, but I gave it 2.5 stars. Disappointing, I guess. Friends with Benefits, Justin Timberlake, Mila Kunis, and Emma Stone. Talk about disappointment again. I gave that 2 stars. A lot of people online, like on Amazon, like that movie, but I just thought, like, watching Timberlake and Kunis in bed, you think that this would be like more titillating and exciting, and it just wasn't. I just wasn't buying it. And Mila Kunis, I guess, she has like she doesn't want to like show her body and whatnot, and she doesn't want to be like that kind of actress, I guess, or she's too shy to do it. I don't know, but the movie kind of called for it a little bit, and she wasn't really there for it. I think that there's one scene where you see her butt, but I don't think it was hers. I think it was someone else's. Thought I saw something like that online, and plus it seems like something she wouldn't do. Yeah, I just wasn't buying them as a couple in bed and whatnot. Let's see, Clerks. There's 2 movies, Clerks and Clerks 2. These movies they take place in New Jersey. The first one was 1994, and the next one was 12 years later, 2006. So it's kind of like how they do the movies, the Before trilogy with Ethan Hawke and I'm so bad with names. Well, anyway, I don't think they're doing another one to Clerks, because it's now from 2006. It's now 2018. They haven't come out with one. I'm not aware that they are. Who knows? Maybe they will. That'd be interesting if they did 3 Clerks movies. I gave the first movie 3 stars and the second one 3.5. Breakfast at Tiffany's I rewatched. That has Audrey Hepburn and George Papard. I gave that 4 stars. Now the reason why I'm rewatching, why I rewatched that movie, and I will be doing this once a month for the next 14 months. So in April, as of April, which is over now, it's 15 months to retirement, and I thought it would be fun to do a 15 movie countdown where once a month I rewatch a movie that I like but just never have time for, and so each month I'll watch one for the next 15 months, and some classic that I really like. So this month was the first one I did, Breakfast at Tiffany's, and I gave it 4 stars. And then tonight I watched Deadpool with Ryan Reynolds, because now they got this new Deadpool movie coming out soon, Deadpool 2. So I'll just say I gave it 3.75 stars. It's a good movie, but it was, considering it's like a Marvel comic superhero type movie, although he's not really a superhero. At least he's not a hero. Ryan Reynolds. It's kind of more bloody than I thought it would be, more violent than I thought it would be. It's not bad. Reynolds is the right guy to play this part. He has that, sass to him that brings the character to life. But I thought it was good. 3.75 stars, almost 4. But I just can't quite go 4. Maybe if it was a little bit less on the special effects and whatnot, and a little bit less with the people's heads coming off, and I don't know, a little more story. So anyway, Deadpool, 3.75 stars. So that's it for this month. Again, tomorrow will be May 1st, be 14 months to retirement. I'll just say a few more words. My son's diet's going pretty good, with the eosinophilic esophagitis that he has, and we're on like a special diet till the end of June. Hopefully his next endoscopy goes great, and put up my thumb, and we're doing pretty good with the food. Lots to eat. Just, eating out could be a little bit of a problem if he's going to be picky about what to get, but otherwise, at home, really no issues. We're doing well, and that's it for this month of April. So if you're watching, take care. Bye.